Now, when I think consoles, I think Sony and Nintendo interlocked in this war of games, and then you have Microsoft sitting in the corner playing with fucking Connectimals and advertising some stupid ass car. They have not been competitive with their exclusives for quite some time. In the debate of the console wars, there is no right answer, only a wrong answer. The Xbox One. This is a console that never really found its footing. Look at the Wii U. This console is considered by many to be a failure, but then you look at its library. Boom, 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 boom. If that's a failed console, I don't know what you call the Xbox One. You know, maybe charging $50 back in 2002 when the consumer didn't know anything about that, you know, it was just coming out. But it's 2015 now. You know, things change. We know now that it doesn't cost shit to play games online. We know you don't spend any money on the servers or do any upkeep at all. Xbox Live is essentially Microsoft taking money for doing absolutely nothing. No other consoles were charging you money to play their games online, and yet Xbox still did it the worst out of all three of them. The Gears of War, you guys remember this game was so inconsistent and laggy, and the host would always just clean house in that game. And then over here you have PS3 with Resistance 2, completely free to play online, and you have 60 players in a match, and it just worked beautifully. And that was probably the moment where I was like, okay, why are they still charging me for Xbox Live? But Sony saw that, you know, you could just get money for free, so they said, fuck it. They pulled a complete 180, and now they charge you money to play PS4 online. So thank you, Microsoft. Thank you for inspiring your competitors to sink to your level. Let's talk about Halo Infinite. I think Xbox is on the verge of pulling a Sega move by transitioning into only doing software. However, if they were going to make a final stand, this was their chance. To stay relevant in the hardware game, Xbox needed a Halo 1 jaw-dropping moment. This is not that. One of their most anticipated titles, Scalebound, was cancelled after 4 years in development. Rare was reduced to making shovelware Kinect games. Crackdown 3 spent 5 years in the oven and came out half-baked. Bungie left Microsoft to work on Destiny. Their best games of this generation, Ori and Cuphead, are now both available on the Nintendo Switch. Either these guys just have the shittiest luck ever, or they aren't willing to dig deep and spend the money to get stuff made right. Their flagship titles, Gears and Halo, are no longer the cutting-edge giants they were years ago. Halo 5's campaign was an embarrassment on every front, and Gears of War 4 and 5 are essentially Xbox 360 games with a fresh coat of paint. The original white Xbox 360 was a terrible piece of hardware. You know, back in 2009, it was reported that 54% of them had broke down, and that number has probably gone way up since then. I remember I got the red ring back when Blue Dragon came out. I was so sad because that was pretty much the only thing I was doing was playing Xbox every day, and a shitload of 360s were getting red rings. So Microsoft responded with this fake ass repair policy to save face, claiming that they would extend warranties on older units to fix the red rings. So what you had to do is you had to call support. They would ship you a box in like 4 weeks. You had to put your Xbox in there, ship it back to Microsoft, and then a month later they sent you your Xbox back and it was still broken. And it was such a shit show. And I did this 6 times. 6 times I sent it back to Microsoft and they sent it back broken every time. And on my 7th attempt, the guy on phone support tells me, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You're no longer covered by the warranty." So yeah, Microsoft's actual response to every 360 breaking down was, "Hey, buy this new black Xbox 360. This one actually works." Recently, Xbox acquired Double Fine, Playground Games, Obsidian, and Ninja Theory, but just because you're buying promising studios doesn't guarantee you incredible games. Remember when Microsoft purchased Rareware? These guys were on fire during the previous era, but once Microsoft got them, the hot streak ended.
Xbox One X is the smallest Xbox ever.
Games for Windows Live is the single worst interface ever introduced in the history of PC gaming. It was designed as a sick practical joke by the Nazis to troll gamers.
Why does the PS4 still have no games? The Xbox has like more compelling exclusives. I mean, it's got a Halo game, it's got Crackdown, I mean, it's gonna have that new Platinum Games game, it's got Sunset Overdrive. I mean, what's the PS4 have?
Then you got Recore, okay? I thought this would be the first must-have game for Xbox One. It's made by the dude who directed Metroid Prime, but Microsoft is involved, which is always bad.
And as he destiny mana away see quit your deed, and now I need to hold the world free.
While Sony and Nintendo kept turning up the heat with ambitious games like Mario Odyssey, Uncharted 4, God of War, Breath of the Wild, the Xbox One has coasted by on being the system you get because your friends have Xbox. They aren't putting out boundary-pushing pieces of art. Their big games are run-of-the-mill multiplayer shooters. So what is the point of the Xbox One?
It's a coffee table.
What to say? Any shit that's over.
Remember Connect? Remember Connectimals? Introducing the new Xbox One. Yeah. Oh wow. We took the original. Oh my goodness. We took the original Xbox hardware and put it in an all-new box. And like the original Xbox, it cannot play Xbox 360 titles. Also, it cannot play used titles. We're getting rid of that. Now, this is the knockout punch. This is where Microsoft sums their entire purpose as a company into one single moment. Valve was releasing a whole new set of maps for Left 4 Dead for free. They were going to give you all the new maps for free. Microsoft saw this and told them, no, you can't do that, because they didn't like the precedent Valve was setting with the free DLC, and they didn't want other companies following in Valve's example. So you had the maps for free day one on PC, and then 3 weeks later, you had them for $20 on Xbox. You have to ask yourself, what kind of human being would perpetrate such terrible, evil acts upon the gaming community? You know, unless they weren't people at all. Think about it. We got spaghetti and meatball shirts. Better come to Dunkey's Cash Show. Better come to Dunkey's Cash Show. Better come to Dunkey's Cash Show, or I'm gonna eat your shoes.